welcome to my channel. This week's video is all about creating a Montessori inspired playroom. Over the summer I have done a lot of research and reading, and I have come across Montessori and it has really made sense to me. I am a teacher and I have analysed our first year together. Oscar is now 14 months and I kind of thought I wasn't doing everything that made sense. I was accumulating a lot of things that he wasn't interested in. Please tell me I'm not alone. I had a toy box full of a load of toys, mainly plastic things, ranging from things that moved, flashing lights, and they just weren't getting played with. He was much more interested in the things that I was doing. He enjoyed crafty activities, sensory play. As you can see from my videos, we do quite a lot, kind of DIY projects, but the things I was buying, he just was not interested in. And over the summer, I have looked into Montessori and yeah, like I say, it just makes sense to me. I will link some of the videos that I watched in the description box down below if that's something that you're interested in. So we have moved house. I got back 2 weeks ago and Jamie had moved house over the summer, not unexpectedly. I knew we were moving and he did the hard work. So we got back and now we have a bit more space for Oscar. We were in a flat before and now we're in a villa. So we have a garden and we have an extra room downstairs that is now his playroom. So I hope this video is going to help to inspire you to analyse the things that you have for your children and the things that you're buying. I am very conscious now to buy quality things that are going to last him a long time and not have lots of things. One of the key Montessori principles is about rotation of activities and toys. So it's about analysing your child and observing them and looking at what sensitive period that they may be in, and that's a very Montessori thing, sensitive periods. And basically during those sensitive periods your child is like a sponge for information for that particular skill. So if you can provide them with lots of activities that meet that kind of skill, they will learn it much more easily during that sensitive period. So I have begun observing Oscar and noticing you know, what is really interesting him. You might notice that your child is doing the same thing over and over again, and that will give you an idea of what sensitive period they are in. If that's something you want to know more about, then I can maybe do some videos in the future about that, but leave me a comment if that's something you would like to see. Anyway, so this video is showing the space that we had and the mess that there was, and how we have gone about creating a Montessori inspired playroom. Anything that I mention that I can find links for, I'll put in the description box below. So if there's anything that you think, oh, that would be great for my child, yeah, have a look in the description box and I'll try and link everything that I possibly can. As I say, Oscar is 14 months at the moment and I don't plan on buying him much more. But like I say, I'll be rotating some things out and some things in at the time, depending on what he's interested in. Anyway, I'll explain more as we go through the makeover. So thank you for watching this week's video, and here we go. So come in, and this is the current state of it. So it is literally a dumping ground at the moment of all of Oscar's things from birth, basically. It's, you know, a fairly small room. If you are a Dubai resident, you will know this to be the maid's room. We do not have a maid, so it is going to be our playroom. So the other good thing is that there is also a bathroom in here. So when we start toilet training Oscar, that's going to be a handy space to kind of do like potty training because it's all on the ground floor. So yeah, so this is the state of the room at the moment, and I will be first of all trying to sort it and then categorize it. Okay, so here is the semi-completed playroom. I'm going to say semi-completed for reasons like this. We are actually deciding to take this door off because Oscar has already started to play with the door, and obviously we don't want trapped fingers, and he is going to be around here independently sometimes. I'm only obviously in the living room, but he doesn't need me to follow him everywhere. So we are going to take the door off, and at the moment it doesn't slide over our matting anyway, so that makes life easier. This matting, if you have watched my videos before, you'll know we used to have in our old flat. It is basically foam jigsaw matting that you can get normally like rainbow coloured, and we've chosen this kind of wood effect. I will link it down below, but it's nice as far as it's not overstimulating, and that's a key Montessori principle, is to have an environment that is not overstimulating. There's lots of research actually about displays in schools, and having lots of things on the wall, and actually having it minimal increases concentration. So as you'll see, wall-wise, we haven't got a lot going on, and that's on purpose. I was going to paint, but actually it doesn't need it. The focus is on what's available to him rather than having lots of things on the wall. It's got a couple of pictures, and around here some books, and we are planning on getting a mirror, but that's pretty much it for the walls. So yeah, so I'll link the flooring if you're interested in that. So this wasn't originally planned, but there was nowhere for him to sit, and he actually quite likes sitting and reading a book now. So I've just bought these big cushions down from our day bed and kind of made them into like little mini sofas, and he has already started to love sitting there, and there's two, so one of us can sit down with him. And then I'll just go through with you what we have on the shelves. So on the top, to start with, we have the large Grimm's rainbow. This is a lovely piece, but it is not cheap. I think it's about £70. We got it for Oscar's first birthday, and this was, his present. It is made from a solid piece of maple wood, I think they are. And so they fit beautifully together. I've kind of got it stacked out at the moment, and some of the pieces are over here as part of our farmyard. A lot of Montessori activities and toys are wood, and there's a good reason for that. It's much more tactile, it feels nicer, and it's more durable. It's also better for the environment than us buying lots of pieces of plastic. This is one of those investment pieces. We bought it for his first birthday, and I consider that he'll be using it for a long time to come. As they gain their imagination, they can turn it into whatever they want. At the moment, he likes using it as a bridge for his cars, or like we've got here, as little houses for his animals. So that's the Grimm's rainbow, and again, I'll link everything down below. Then we have a trip trap track, it's hard to say. So there's these little wooden cars, and they go down. Again, this is fulfilling his movement sensitive period that he is in, and transporting things. He also uses other things to go down this as well. So I'll show you those later, but lots of things actually fit down this, so it's quite good. And then over here we have some grass samples. Like I said, we've got a garden in our new villa, and we are going to be putting down some artificial grass because we're in Dubai, and to have real grass and water it is just not practical really. So we've got some grass samples nicely left for us, and they are now part of Oscar's small world play. And then here we have some lovely wooden animals. This is our collection at present, but I intend on asking, for birthdays and Christmases, that people buy him a wooden animal. They are not cheap again, but again, they'll last. So the smaller animals like the chicken and the duck and things like that are around £7, ranging to like the bigger cow and horse. I think they're more like £15 an item. They're kind of, again, investment pieces. They're all hand carved and hand painted. Some of them are Ostheimer, our farmyard Ostheimer, and then my friend bought some of these other ones as well, which are Holztiger, both German brands and both beautiful. So that's our kind of small world play, and like I say, sometimes I bring it down onto the floor for Oscar as well, because at the moment he can't reach up here, so it's kind of displayed here and then it's brought down. Okay, so next row down, in these baskets, I have got some Stickle bricks. So we do have some plastic. Sometimes, you know, they are useful. The Stickle bricks are kind of at his level at the moment. They're easy to put together. They don't need to go in a certain way because of the fact that they are Stickle bricks, so that, you know, as long as they are perpendicular, they stick, and they can be anything. Another principle of Montessori is that activities are open-ended, so the toys that you buy don't just fulfill one function. So that's, you know, these could be anything using their imagination. So Stickle bricks. Then we have a shape sorter. If I'd had my time again, I would have bought a different shape sorter. This is too complicated because it is colours and it is shapes, and there is lots of shapes. So he can't do this independently at the moment, but he can do it with support. So I might have bought a more simpler one. There's ones that you can get that kind of just have 3 shapes. So that probably would be easier, but this is what we've got, and I'm not going to buy a new one. In the scheme of things, we can kind of work with it. Here we have I think these are paper mache tissue box. You can buy them in different sizes, different kinds of boxes. It's just got a hole in it. Oh, he's already posted one in. And then in this kind of coconut bowl are the Grappat rings. Again, these aren't cheap for wooden rings, but they are all dyed with child safe dyes. So this is the thing to consider really, to buy quality. You could buy these and then your child's going to suck on them and it's not going to be healthy for them. So I figured these were worth it, and they are used for so many things. Like I said, he actually puts these down the trip-trap track as well, they fit. So that's those, and he posts these to fulfill his transporting schema. And then in here is a selection of wooden people. They go with our animals, little farmyard. So there's like granddad and the girl, and there's mum and dad, and I think there's a baby as well. Oh, wrong way, baby. And they're wired, so you know they can sit on the horse and things like that. You can bend them. These are lovely. Again, I will link them down below. Down here we have some puppets. He is obsessed with this. My friend bought it for his birthday, and it is lovely. I mean, we've got a little bit of a session. When I say we, I do, with foxes. He's got a fox painting up there as well. But it is so soft. It is, I can't think of the company. I'll try and find the label in a minute, but again, I'll link it down below. And he has Sweep and his favourite owl puppet. So next we have musical instruments. In here is a selection of a bought set, and then also some homemade shakers and things. Oh. So next we have cars. We've got our Oball car, and then a selection of kind of wooden cars. Again, he uses these with the rainbow, and we have a bridge and roads underneath and things like that. This really fulfills his movement sensitive period, because he loves to push things along. So that is an obsession at the moment, vehicles. And then we just have a very simple stacking toy. If you've got most stacking toys come with like 7 pieces, you can just reduce it so that it's easier for them. So start with, 2 pieces or then 3. You don't have to have lots, it can all go away. And in this corner we are using a shoe rack as a shelving unit, which is a perfect size for a toddler. If you can find one that's got a solid base, that's even better, so that things don't fall through. At the top we have a basket just with some cards in. They're not intended to be flashcards, but he likes like posting these in buckets and things. Here I've got some containers with lids, so he can learn how to sort lids onto containers. He quite enjoys that at the moment. A loaf tin, really simply with some elastic bands and some things to find. He can do this with his hands, or he also quite likes using tongs at the moment to put through, like the game operation, finding the things. And then at the bottom, using these are those scub containers from IKEA, and we had loads. So I've just used it for loose parts. So in this one is just wooden discs. These are actually from a different threading activity that he does. It's too hard for him at the moment, so we're just using those for whatever he wants. Pouch lids. If you use these or know anyone that does, these can come in real handy. And if you are into Pinterest, you can find lots of different activities that use these, and it's great for recycling. In this one is Pompoms. We use that for posting, and even with the tongs, he likes picking them up. And finally, we have some finger puppets. Over here we have a broom, because he is monkey see, monkey do. So if I'm sweeping, he wants to be sweeping. So having child-sized versions of what you're using and encouraging them to participate. I also want to get him a small dustpan and brush, because he's always after my filthy one. So yeah, we need a new one. In here is a selection of balls. Again, it doesn't need to be loads, but different sizes, different textures. And then we have a low, so he can reach this, bookshelf. Again, it's not having all your books out all the time. So I'm rotating this on a 2-day basis, keeping out the books that he is really still enjoying and swapping out the others. I'll show you where I keep the others. But you might notice that you have lots and lots of books and they never get read. So kind of focusing their attention. Again, I've kind of picked things that really work with his interests at the moment. So we've got the bus book, the wheels and things, talking about that. And this is like the best book ever to Oscar at the moment, Things That Go. And the fact that they're photographs rather than drawings is like key at this stage. He doesn't really associate with drawings very much, but the photographs, yes. Dear Zoo, so we lift the flat book, and the classic Hungry Caterpillar, and then we're going on a bear hunt, which he loves at the moment because it has a dog in it, and he does quite like dogs. So yeah, so it's only 5 books out, and we swap them around. So he kind of gets used to them, and he can pick a book up from the shelf and, you know, go and read it, or bring it to me or Jamie to read. And then in here is just a basket of play scarves and play silks. Also his things like his foil blanket is in there as well. Sometimes I'll lay this out as an activity. And that is the room.